Hey friends, welcome back to Vincent Gigi's Super Channel G. Look how incredible this dream box of Marvel Legends toys looks. Isn't it incredible? These are all Spider-Man action figures from all the different characters from the Spider-Verse. And so not necessarily the Into the Movie Spider-Verse, but definitely just the universe and multiverse that is Spider-Man. So you're definitely not going to want to miss this. So guys, if you've never seen one of our videos, subscribe now. Hit the notification bell next to it so you can get notified every time we have a new video come out. And talk to us in the comments below. For those of you that already subscribed to us, I want to welcome you back. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of our channel. And I look forward to seeing all of you on all of our videos going forward. So talk to us in the comments below. Give us a big thumbs up. And why don't we go ahead and get started, right? Now!
It's so nice to meet you, Gigi.
Super Channel G.
Vincent Gigi from Super Channel G. I will see you on the TV.
Super Channel G! Hey friends, it's so good to see you. I've been planning to make this video for a good while now. We've been talking about it. You've been asking for it. So let's get started. Alright, so we're officially going to get underway. Just for fun, if you'd like, why don't you put in the comments below how many action figures you think are actually in here. You know what, let me take this out so you can see how tall it is. It's not ridiculously tall, but obviously it's still pretty tall. There's action figures on all sides. And yeah, see if you can guess. So, let's get underway and let's see who we have here. Who's the first one you want to start with? Alright, let's start with Homemade Suit Spider-Man. Isn't this outstanding? So, I will let you know that not all, but a good majority, sorry, I'm looking around trying to find exactly what I was telling you about. We have the accessories in its own little box. And why am I not finding it? Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. So, we have some miscellaneous toys in here, but what I do know is we have, like, for example, here, look at this. This is the other hand for our Homemade Suit Spider-Man. We do have, like, for example, Kingpin head. We have Tom Holland's head right here. We have alternate Venom head and hand, and Cosmic Spider-Man, for example. So, we definitely have, we have the pizza. We have other spider hands in here. So, we're not really going to focus on all these. Here's Miles Morales, his electrical charge, right? So, we're not really focused on all of those. We may or may not come back to those. But for sure, we definitely are going to focus on the actual Marvel Legends. So, this is an awesome action figure, let me tell you. It has great articulation. Obviously, the head's going to be a little restricted with this hood as far as how far it goes. But, there are alternate versions that have where you can put the hood down. Anyway, I do want to show you that. So, like, for example, this. If we pop the head off, we can pop this out. Oops. Wow, that fell all the way to the bottom. Okay, well, we could put it like this, and we can definitely get the... I can't believe it fell all the way to the bottom. Wow, what were the odds? Okay, so for now, until I can get it, I'm gonna put Tom Holland's head on, even though this one doesn't come with this one, just so we can have a head on here. You know what, actually this doesn't look like it fits. Give me 1 second. Alright, so surprise, surprise, this head really doesn't fit on here. So, it doesn't belong here either. So we're gonna have to come back to this action figure, and I'm gonna have to be a lot more careful next time with this one. So, we do have different hoods right here. We'll talk about this guy again. He's got some great articulation, looks just like the movie one. Here's his web shooters right here. He's got double joints in all the right places. Look at these boots. So we will come back, we will talk about this Spider-Man, the homemade suit version, in a bit. Sorry, that was never happened before. Okay, so since we're talking about Tom Holland, let's look at, let's pick this amazing Iron Spider, right? So, this Iron Spider is obviously from Infinity War. He looks absolutely outstanding. He's got this extra butterfly joint here, which a lot of Spider-Man action figures do, but not all of them. You definitely, I guess we definitely want all of our Spider-Man action figures to have this extra joint so that we can have him shooting out web straight out. You know, that's something that we definitely want. And to come across the body, so on and so forth. Look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? And we can put this down so you can shoot it out. Look at that. That looks so awesome. So that's definitely something we want to happen, and so that's so great. And it also is great for when we're having all sorts of crazy action poses. That's awesome. So this Iron Spider has such great articulation, great mobility, great ab crunching. Just everything about this figure looks outstanding. The only thing, when you get this one, as incredible as he is, his paint, everything, is that he did not come with the spider legs that come out of the back. And also he came with no accessories. So that was a little disappointing. But nonetheless, he's definitely somebody you need in your collection. He looks outstanding. Everything about him is amazing. And look, we got double joints at the knees. He can have just this ridiculous amount of articulation. The boots, everything. This is totally movie accurate Spider-Man, Iron Spider. He just doesn't come with the legs, and which would have been outstanding. And wow, you know what? I just hadn't paid attention to how incredible this spider symbol is on his back, because we didn't get to see that tons. We obviously see this really amazing one on the front, but anyway, this is an incredible action figure to have in your collection. And look at just the detail and the paint. Love it. Just outstanding. So, alright. So, this will be actually the first figure we look at for the Spider-Verse. Alright. And let's move on next. Let's take a look at this Miles Morales, right? So, Miles Morales, a different universe Spider-Man, so that's why it's like Into the Spider-Verse. And he definitely looks a lot like the Miles Morales from the movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because that's what he's from. This is from the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2-pack. So it's these two right here with Spider-Gwen. But he did come with some really good accessories, including his electrical charge, which goes right here, and you can, oops, all you got to do is put it around his arm. It's really cool. Obviously, this is one of the things that makes him unique. Look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? It's got some outstanding articulation. His head goes back pretty far. It looks really good. He's got this, his homemade spray painted looking emblem right here. Looks great on the front, looks great on the back. And we absolutely love this figure. So his accessories are great. His paint job is great. He's got great movement and mobility, ab crunches, and to the point where it clicks. Just absolutely outstanding mobility. Notice it doesn't have that extra butterfly joint here, which we talked about, but he does have all this great leg articulation up here on the high part of the thigh. Look at this double joint on the knee. We have this cool blending effect right here with the red on the shoes, on his suit. Absolutely looks great. Look at that. Absolutely. And so this was a great movie. And depending on when you're watching this, this movie just came out this week on Blu-ray and digital download. So if you haven't checked it out, I'd strongly urge you to check it out, because it's an amazing movie. Absolutely outstanding. And isn't this an outstanding character? Love the way he looks. Absolutely outstanding. And so we're definitely going to be doing some stop motion with these figures. Alright. So, yes, definitely one you want in your collection. So let's set aside. Let's go ahead and look at that Spider-Gwen after all. So here is this really awesome looking Spider-Gwen, right? So she's Spider-Woman. This is like if the spider would have bit Gwen Stacy instead of Peter Parker, from that sort of Spider-Man universe. super awesome. Look at this detail on her back. Look at the detail right here. And so she does not look exactly like the movie, but obviously definitely is kind of this mix between the comics and the movie. Look at this great right here paint inside this hoodie. Sorry, I keep losing focus. Sorry guys about that. And they have all sorts of great accessories. And you know what? Let me get it. Give me a second. So I actually still had these in the saved box. You'll notice we have this, just like the hood coming down in the one we just showed for the Spider-Man Homecoming, and for this Gwen Stacy head, and then this Miles Morales head right here. See, and then hands. But you'll notice this is not movie accurate. This is more like the comic. Same thing with this Miles Morales. He does not have his hair like that. So those are the ones that come with these action figures. And then also, and I have them in here I believe, but they have these webs right here that I've already it's in here somewhere, and here's one of them. I'll show you, so that way we can have them, like for example, shoot in the web like that. So that's really cool, just letting you know. But this is a great looking figure nonetheless. Everything about this looks amazing. I love the way that the eyes kind of fade with that pink and that red. That looks outstanding. So this is a really great action figure. Look at that. So if I'm not mistaken, he also in the movie, her shoes did not look like this. I think they were a fade of a different color. But nonetheless, like I said, this is an outstanding action figure. Definitely worth having in your set, in your collection. So we'll go ahead and set her aside. Real quick, as far as her articulation, I'm sure you're asking, she doesn't move a lot right here at the rib cage, but that is where she moves. Does not move at the waist, so unfortunately you have to move her like that. But it would have been cool if she also moved at the waist, but that's not so common with a lot of female Marvel Legends action figures. They usually move right here below the rib cage, so something to keep in mind. So, alright, we'll go ahead and move on. So this was a really cool Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, all same person, same name. Alright, so set her aside. Now, let's grab, who do you want to see? Poison. Look how great this Poison looks. So, he's got extremely outstanding head articulation. And as a matter of fact, the head dips and goes forward, down, up, and looks absolutely outstanding. Look at that. He's got these cool like spider tendrils coming out right here. He's got great ab crunching. Turns right here at the waist. Look at these arms. The detail on this character is absolutely amazing. Love it. My specific character is a little loose on the foot, but everything else is nice and tight, and just has it's just such a great detailed character. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? So, I love this figure. If you have this one, I'm sure you do too. And there's just so much to love about it, especially just the body mold and sculpt and the little detail in there. Even though it's basically the same, it has these little like silver accents in between some of the lines, and just looks absolutely great. Look at that. So it has all the great articulation points we would want, and has two style hands. So this Poison looks amazing. Let me just say that. Look at that. Definitely one you would want in your collection. So yeah, buddy. Now I don't remember him coming with very many, if any at all, accessories, so that's the only bummer. But and you know, his body is kind of big and like bulky right here, even though he's a small guy. So it's more like an Iron Man type looking body mold than it is like, you know, a typical symbiote. But and he does not have the extra butterfly joint here, but he definitely looks great. Look at that. So I really dig this character. Alright, let's set him aside. Okay, who do we want to do next? Let's do look at this. We have Spider-Ham. Doesn't he look awesome? So, another character that was in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This is not a figure directly from that, but obviously this is a Spider-Ham figure. Peter Porker. He looks good. His articulation points are kind of, you know, different than we're used to, because his legs do not move, but his ankles do at least turn. Look at that. His waist moves kind of like on a ball joint almost. So kind of like our female Marvel Legends action figures, it does that. So he does have articulation points there. His arms do move at that shoulder, and they come out and in and around, and he does have elbows, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So look, he's got elbows, and his wrists still move. Now they only turn, so they don't do anything else than that, but still, it's great to have. So he's got pretty good articulation, believe it or not. So just throwing that out there. And his head does not have crazy articulation, but it does have good articulation. And so this is an awesome character to have. Look at this. He's only got a Spider-Man symbol on the front, but it looks great. Let me zoom into that. Doesn't that look awesome? So, yeah, I'm digging that. Let's set him aside now. Alright, let's get down to this, some of this nitty-gritty. We have Ben Reilly. Ooh, I think my voice just cracked. Ben Reilly, who Spider-Man version. Now he was a clone, I believe, of Peter Parker. And if I accidentally misspeak or get something wrong, feel free to put it in the comments. And yeah, because we definitely love these action figures. But he's got all the great articulation points we want from a Spider-Man. Just a reminder, this is not Peter Parker. This is Ben Reilly, and he is a clone. And if I remember correctly, the story goes he was Scarlet Spider, and then at some point Peter Parker and him were tricked into thinking that Peter Parker was actually Ben Reilly. Ben Reilly was actually Peter Parker. They switched identities, thinking that that was truly the case. Then he became Spider-Man, and Peter Parker became Scarlet. Anyway, it was just this crazy, huge, kind of complicated story. It was kind of neat, and it involved other clones such as Kane. But nonetheless, it was really neat. This action figure has absolutely amazing articulation, and so we did a Mystery Marvel Legends unboxing. Just yesterday, the day before. I'm like, wait a minute, have we already posted that one before we accidentally give it away? But man, wasn't this action figure just amazing? Absolutely it was. And it comes with 4 different sets of hands. That's what was so amazing about this action figure. Great articulation points. Absolutely, look at that. Outstanding posability, great articulation. Head moves so much, and so just an absolutely wonderfully detailed action figure. Looks absolutely great. I love this paint job of having just the red right here on the bottom part. It's such a great Spider-Man. Look at this great Spider-Man symbol on the back. Just everything about this action figure is amazing. So yeah, if you get the chance to get this guy, I absolutely urge you, pick him up. So, alright, moving on. And let me just tell you, this one is from the Absorbing Man set. And you know what? I still have it right here. I want to show you. So, the Absorbing Man set, it has all these great hands in here. And it actually comes with switchable hands, symbiote hands, and the Carnage head, because Ben Reilly was the host for Carnage Symbiote, you know, briefly, but it happened. So that's another cool fact. Alright, so let's move on. Let's see, who do we want to get next? Look at this Mysterio. So, guys, it took us forever to finally get our Mysterio. And you know what? You can take the head off. Now, do you want to? That's the debatable part, but you can. And look how crazy great this looks. So I'm going to zoom in right here. And look at that. This is skull. We have like this tentacle that's just going around in the mouth and then out the eye. It looks wicked. Let me see if I can get this to look good without going out of focus. So doesn't that look crazy? That's what's underneath in this version of Mysterio, this helmet. So this helmet's a little cloudy. I wish it was clear, but you know, whatever. And it has this peg that goes in his back right here. But if you'll notice, without this, he really doesn't have any, like, a whole lot of color other than the other green on his hands and feet. So this goes right back in there. We put that peg into his back, and yeah, it looks really cool. Let me zoom back out. I'm sorry, a little too close there. And it has absolutely great articulation. We have this great cape right here. Now, because this cape is a hard plastic, and not ridiculously hard, but it limits the poses we can do with this Mysterio, because it's up and flat like that. It is heavy, and so just keep that in mind. He's got some great posability, great articulation, does ab crunch, does turn at the waist. His whole body's kind of just this like flat green. You'll notice there's a slightly different color than the plastics right here, from this green to this green, but obviously it's intended to be the same green. But this is an amazing, this like key lime pie, almost lime green right here, shiny, that's on the arms and on the boots. I love the way that looks. And then this comes off. This is just to create like this, you know, smoking effect and this magic. And I love the way it kind of Tim Burton's around like that. That sort of art style. Look at this one. This one has another one of these tentacles. Doesn't that look great? So, of course, all these do is they just go right here. They can be put on any action figure, really, just about. So we're going to do this one next, but I just wanted to show you. You can just like put that right there. And look at that. You can have him flying on his thing and then having like smoke coming out. Doesn't that look really cool? So we'll get to Green Goblin in a minute. But Mysterio, and I'm excited about Jake Gyllenhaal being Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home, which obviously we're still looking forward to Endgame. Avengers Endgame is probably going to be the best movie ever in my life, but just keeping that in mind. So there's also articulation in the high part of the leg. There's double joints at the knee, and then right here, the top of the boot, it actually turns. Look at that. Great articulation in the feet. Absolutely outstanding color. This Mysterio is amazing, and it took us forever to find this guy. So finally gave up and decided we got to find him online. Found him online, ordered him, and the moment after I ordered him, guess what? We found him at the Disney store of all places. Didn't even know they started selling Marvel Legends at the Disney store. Now, they did, and you're probably not going to find a whole big variety, but you will find some. So just throwing that out there. Alright, look at this great Mysterio. So, I'm going to go ahead and set him aside. Okay, as I promised, we have Green Goblin here. And Green Goblin looks outstanding. Look how great he looks. He looks absolutely maniacal. This is a great head sculpt. This is a great little, you know, hood right here. This purple thing right here, and then he's got these great ears. This is just a great sculpt. If you'll notice, this body is, you know, the same as a Serpent Society one from Avengers Infinity War set, the very first one, with a slightly different green. The legs, I guess they do turn at the boots. I didn't think they did. They do. Look at that. I didn't remember that happening. And they got really good ankle articulation. So he looks awesome. He's also got his man purse right here that carries, you know, all his stuff, including those exploding pumpkins. His belt is not permanently affixed, which is interesting because there's no reason for it to really go up and down. And he just looks so awesome. What a great figure to have in your collection. He looks amazing. And then, let me zoom out. You get to put him on this glider. You know, look at that. Boom. And you get to put the little pumpkin. He comes with one pumpkin that fits in his hand. And let me see if I have it here. I don't have it right in here. You know what? It might actually be at the bottom of this box. But look at this. I just thought about this. This flame thing. Look at that. From the Ultimate Green Goblin, right? From the one that has a head like this. You know, why not? We can just, because it goes there, and there's a very different looking Green Goblin, obviously. But you know, this would still be cool. Whether you put it like this. Doesn't that look great, actually? you know? Yeah, it looks awesome. So just throwing that out there. Look how amazing this glider looks. Looks just like the comics. Looks better from the top than the bottom, obviously, because just like the hollowed out part on the bottom. But on the top, it looks absolutely great. So, yeah, awesome that it comes with that that exploding pumpkin. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word pumpkin. Little jack-o'-lantern, and his hand does rotate to be able to hold it. So that looks great. So I'm gonna set him aside right over here. All right, have you kept up? Do you know how many that is so far? Let's see. Yeah, I counted them by hand. So, okay, let's move on. We have, okay, you're definitely gonna wanna see this one. So, we have this Venom, and we have two that look like this. They are not exactly the same, but they are very, very similar. And they are the same body mold overall, but I'm gonna do this one later. So this one actually came out first. This one, I believe, is from the Venom wave that does the Build-A-Figure for the Monster Venom. And it comes with this little symbiote part that's coming up right here that attaches to the back with this little tiny peg, soft peg. So this is him like changing around the neck, and that's really the only real accessory we get, which is very disappointing. This is too restricted to here to look amazing. Well, at least it's something, I will say that. And you know what, let me check something. Watch this. I had almost forgotten, it does come with the Eddie Brock switchable head, so that you can have, that's right, this head with this right here as his symbiote kind of coming off. I don't really think this head's super amazing. You know, it looks comic book-ish, but yeah, I'm not really feeling it. I would like to have a really cool Eddie Brock, or perhaps even one from the movie would be awesome. But I do like this Venom head right here. And this Venom head is very different than the other one that we're going to look at in a little bit. But yeah, I'm really digging that. And so this head goes with the other Venom, and so we'll look at that together later. But it's so cool to have just different Venom heads to be able to swap out. Now, this Venom ends up giving us two fists to be able to work with the other one. Even though the other one does basically have that. But yeah, just to compare it to this other one that we're going to look at later, it's almost the exact same figure. Almost! But if you'll notice, which head do you like more? And which hands do you like more? I'll tell you which ones I do. This is obvious. So we'll come back to this one and we'll look at that one in just a bit. But yeah, this Venom crunches at the abs. Nice and bulky, nice and buff, strong. Definitely, I do like these teeth, this yellow teeth. He does look vicious. It looks awesome. Now, I don't know if this is on purpose or an accident. Let's see, let me zoom in right here. But I like the way that gives it a nice comic book touch. Looks like it's by accident. But that looks cool. And maybe not. Look here. So that looks awesome. And, you know, he moves on the bottom, on the shin right here, on the high part of the thigh. So he gets pretty decent articulation. He does not get amazing articulation. That's the only thing that's kind of stinky about it, is that he does not have the full-blown Spider-Man type articulation you'd like, because even though he's got double joints in the knees, his legs can only come in so far because of how bulky his muscles are. So if they maybe had made the joints a little bit differently, we could get some even more dynamic poses like in the comics with Eddie Brock jumping out. So nonetheless, a great figure to have in your set, trust me. Okay, so let's see, who do we want to do next? Alright, so this is interesting. This is J. Jonah Jameson, and he looks outstanding. You're like, why is he holding this machine gun, right? So let's zoom in on him right here. And the thing is, he's technically not. So this is actually a Chameleon action figure. Marvel's Chameleon. He was Spider-Man's first actual, you know, supervillain. And he is the master of disguise. So here he's disguising as Jameson. And he also, this action figure came with a second and a third head. So it came with this Jameson head, and it also came with a hammer head, so that he could swap that out But let's see, where do I have that? I'm hoping I have everything right here close so that I can just reach for it, but that may or may not be the case. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, here it is. Yep. So I have the package here so we can store them away. You know, once we get all this done, we're gonna put them back in the packages. And so here's the Hammerhead, here's the Chameleon head. It actually comes with that one, but I'd prefer to have Jameson, right? Because Chameleon, you know, cool, whatever. And comes with these weapons. Actually comes with quite a few accessories, so I really appreciate that. But I'd much rather have a Jameson. So if we take this off, because J.J. Jameson is extremely important to the Spider-Verse, right? And so look at that. So we can just treat it just straight up, because J. Jonah Jameson, and have him shouting at Spider-Man, and that's really what I want this for. Now his leg's a little loose. I'm not excited about that. And then of course this body is the same body mold that we have for you know, like Nick Fury for the Captain Marvel series, but same thing for like Agent Ross for Black Panther, and Tony Stark from the Mark I, and so on and so forth. You know, we're obviously using this suit a lot, but it's a nice action figure suit. For whatever reason, the plastic's a little bit different on the high part of the leg versus right here on the thigh, but it still matches well. So this is a great looking Jameson, and that's what I wanted even more so than a Chameleon. So, yep, I'm gonna set him aside right over here. Oh, who do we want to do next? Why don't you pick? So, look, let's jump over here. So this Cosmic Spider-Man. This Cosmic Spider-Man is unreal. It looks so cool, looks so great, and look at that. So here he is, imbued with cosmic power, and can basically do almost anything he wants. Ridiculous. Now he didn't have it for a tremendous amount of time, but there was a storyline with Cosmic Spider-Man. And, you know, we had, I believe we had, I don't remember if it was 2 or 3 heads. For sure we had 2. And look at that. So I'm digging this one better, so I left that one on. And let me see. If we did have a third one, I was hoping it'd be here. I don't remember, I'd have to pull the thing. But look, if we put Tom Holland's head on there, of course this is, you know, more of a man's body than the one that would fit Tom Holland, because look, he's way shorter. So just throwing that out there, seeing smaller. So it doesn't really fit because he's truly a teenager on that action figure. On this action figure, he's really a man, Spider-Man instead of Spider-Teen. But great looking action figure. Has great articulation. Now, something interesting to note is that you see the top of the shoulder right here. You see the shape of it. It actually prevents it from going any further than that, which is a little weird. So why it stops it right there, I don't know. So if you push it in on the top right here and then spin it, you can actually do that. But you can't just force it in there from there because it'll get stuck. Isn't that wild? So just keep that in mind. If you want that dynamic pose, push it in there and then bring it all the way up. So here he is flexing. Look at that. This is one of the weird things about having only fist for hands. Obviously, if you're going to do a lot of punching or whatever, there he is flexing like he's a Hulk Hogan. Look at that. But, you know, nonetheless, this is a great looking character. I love this little bit of like paint spatter. It's like, that looks absolutely outstanding. And I love this metallic blue. This action figure looks so great. Now, he can get some pretty decent dynamic poses. Has double joints. Moves really great. Ab crunches, turns the waist. Moves in the high part of the calf. Again, to slightly different colored whites right there. Kind of like a pearl. But you don't really need to have him super dynamic because he's got cosmic power. Cosmic power means all he has to do is whatever he wants to do, boom, it's done. And that's it. He doesn't need to be jumping around all crazy. And something I haven't noticed until now, look at these ridiculous triceps. Jeez, look at that. For his arms being big, but I didn't realize how just bulky this tricep looked. Wild. So this action figure is outstanding. Love the way it looks. It's so fun. So, let's see, who do we want to do next? let's I don't want to do all the Spider-Man figures right off the bat, the ones who are Spider-Man. So let's do this. Do we want to do Tombstone? All right, let's do him. So yeah, we'll move on to him. He's a little bit looser than I would have liked, and I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of the way this action figure looks. I don't like that, alright, if you're gonna have his shirt open, fine, or his jacket, whatever you call this. But this makes it look like it's tucked in, because it's so neat here. Who would have their jacket unzipped, open, no shirt underneath, and it be tucked in at the belt? So it looks a little awkward. These guys collar popped, no biggie. I like popping my collar every now and then, but you don't pop a collar on a leather jacket that you tuck in. So anyway, it'd be nice if it was like closed up, because that would definitely look cool like that. So definitely, I mean, I could probably modify it with my own paint. He looks like Ron Perlman with his nose pushed up like this. So nothing really wrong with the face. I'm just, this big like Hot Topic belt. It's just not a great execution for me. We obviously needed it for our Build-A-Figure for Vulture here, which we'll get to in a little bit. I don't like that these are loose here. I would have liked these permanently affixed to the boot. But and then he's got 2 fists and no accessories, if I remember correctly. So we could at least give him a gun. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, he was obviously Kingpin's right-hand man, but he had a gun. So something, give me something. You can't have, first of all, don't give me 2 closed fists. And if you do, give me some swappable hands. 2, give me an accessory. And there were no accessories, so 2 closed fists and an accessory, already bad. And then not digging the execution of the tucked in jacket. And then has loose parts on this costume, on his outfit, that don't stay where they're supposed to. Execution was a little raw. So it looks alright, not amazing. But I mean, obviously we do need this character in our set. So overall, and he's necessary for the Vulture Build-A-Figure. So why don't we do Vulture next, right? This Vulture is absolutely, hands down, not only one of my favorite Build-A-Figure characters, but also just characters overall of Marvel Legends. He's massive. He's got great articulation points, such great stuff that moves. Look at this beautiful paint job right here. This it looks spray painted from this this true blue into this beautiful purple right here, like Donatello purple from Ninja Turtles. This green. This is just a lot of love went into this Build-A-Figure action figure. Look at his helmet. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this coat. Now, and this is a true movie Vulture. We got articulation on the feet. Now the only thing is he's really heavy with the wings. So you do have to support him when he stands. He does come with a stand support. So throwing that out there. But just so great. Look at this. Amazing detail. He's right at the top with some of my favorite Build-A-Figure characters. So here's one and of the wings. So if you'll notice, it's just so massive. So this goes right here, bends, and this goes right over here. So let me make sure I put it on the right side. And the correct side would be here. That way I don't confuse it. And this goes here. I just can't have it all connected and still fit in the box. So you see that goes there. And look at this gorgeous wing, and it even articulates here. Isn't that wild? Let's push this in just a little bit more again. And it goes up, down, and look at the detail on this wing. It's gorgeous. And then of course this comes up, this turns. Like, these are ridiculous details. And so when you put this on here and you put the other side, my goodness, are you in for a real treat. So in case you haven't seen this Build-A-Figure, yeah, you probably should have waited to the end just to show you how incredibly gorgeous this is. But let me see if I can just show you all like how great this looks. So Look how massive his wingspan is. I can't even get it all right here without pushing it like further and further back. But look how incredible this looks. Let me make his legs look a little cooler than the way they're just dangling there. So, amazing. Look at this. Compared to my hands, so worth this Build-A-Figure set. So every character that was for this Far From Home Spider-Man action figures was just so worth it for this. This is one of my favorite Build-A-Figure sets ever. And yeah, so you can fit in here. I'm gonna have to take these wings back off. But, man, so worth it. So I'm gonna just pivot this right back here so that we don't break these, and put them right here on the side. And absolutely, absolutely one of my favorite Build-A-Figures ever. So worth it. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there were 7 figures you had to buy instead of 6 for this set, or instead of 5 like on the Black Panther sets. But so worth it. And this part came by itself with one of the figures. I think, like, for example, one of them was Tombstone, and so does this one. So for Vulture, it was just him with this. We had to buy him too. So you built his wings really, and not necessarily him. Alright, let's keep it moving. We'll do, look, we have several Build-A-Figures right here. Actually, another one right here. So those are 4 Build-A-Figures. That's a 5th Build-A-Figure. And there's a 6th one down there. You know what? I'm tempted to grab that SP//DR, otherwise Spider-Mech, Spider, you know, all the same thing. But look at this. Let's jump to this figure right here. Where is he? Prowler. So we have Prowler right here. It was really cool, the Prowler they had. That was his uncle in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now there's different incarnations of and iterations of Prowler. But this one just looks so great. Again, I would have liked this to have been just permanently affixed. I'll probably just end up super gluing that, because there's no reason why they should move. It looks kind of cool, and it also looks kind of like a little cupcake wrapper. One of those foil ones. Great symbol on his chest. I love the way his mask here, you know, kind of like that Spawn type inspiration, right? Deadpool, Spider-Man, Spawn, all that kind of put together. And got good articulation. Man, nice and, you know, tough. So we got some great movement articulation here. Love these hands. Love this metallic color right here. Got great leg articulation. Once again, I'm not happy that this is loose right here. I don't want this loose. And actually, I feel it's upside down. So if I can get this foot off, I can turn it back upside down. But we can do that some other time, because look, it's upside down as far as this part. But nonetheless, a great looking Prowler figure. And he comes with this cape, which is a great looking cape. The only problem is because of this part that goes around the neck, which looks like how it should. And then this peg goes right here in the back. It restricts his movement and is always like kind of floating up here. So I wish they would have just attached this, or the cape was attached separately, differently. Looks great, absolutely, but the cape ends up falling off, or when you pose him, it leans awkwardly. See? So nonetheless, great figure to have. Definitely one we need in our arsenal, in our collection. Every time I saw him from afar, I thought it was Mysterio, and I kept getting excited because you could see from afar as you walk down the toy aisle, you see a vague purple, you see a vague green, and you see hands kind of coming up like that. And it wasn't until you got closer, you're like, oh, it's just another Prowler. But I want to find Mysterio, so I found 1,000,000 Prowlers, and only like 1 or 2 Mysterios in my whole time toy hunting. So just something to keep in mind. So, all right, let's move on. What do we got next? Let's not jump to our Build-A-Figures yet. Let's do, how about here? We have Symbiote Spider-Man. And doesn't he look great? This is from, let's see, is this from Lizard or Kingpin? I believe this is from the Kingpin Build-A-Figure set. He looks absolutely great. He has a butterfly joint here. Look how outstanding this looks. He's got great articulation. Now these eyes kind of are just glued on there, so they could come off. They're supposed to be out like that and not glued back like this, so it looks very different. You'll notice that. He has these kind of like beast-like feet. You'll notice that. So it's really cool. I like these little claw hands or whatever. He doesn't have a tremendous amount of accessories, and as a matter of fact, does he even have any? Well, nonetheless, amazing articulation as for his body. Great paint job. Love the way this looks. I probably would have liked some accessories to go with it, or a head that would that you could switch out. That'd be cool if you had a really like boss-looking symbiote head. You know what? Wouldn't this? You know what? Let's just try this just for fun, since we have so many action figures. Is this head gonna be too big? How would this look? Yeah, it'd be way too big. Because it's meant for that big, bulky Venom. But that would be a cool idea. It's just the head is so much bigger. Look at that. So unfortunately, it's way too big. Otherwise, that would look really cool. Let's take that off. Put that back. Let's get his symbiote head back on. So he's got outstanding articulation. As you can tell, the leg comes all the way back that far. Ab crunches, turns at the waist. Great action figure. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And obviously you need it to have your Build-A-Figure piece for Kingpin. So, outstanding. Let's see, who do we want to do next? We want to do Scream. We want to do Anti-Venom. We have so many great ones, right? Let's see. Oof. Let me see. Let's go ahead and jump right on into Dr. Octopus. No, I can't get all his arms out. So, Scream. Let's just do Scream. So, Scream is one of my favorite characters in this whole set. She does not come with like this ridiculous great accessories, but she's just a great figure overall. She has these symbiote hands that we've already come to expect from our symbiotes, right? She looks amazing. Love the way the face looks. Love this streak of red hair that's kind of like Rogue reminiscent almost, but with this yellow. This yellow is partially metallic. So let's zoom in right here. She moves right here, the rib cage, and that's something that we've definitely come to expect from our female Marvel Legend characters. They usually have only one joint right here at the elbow, which is the case here. But just look at this great symbiote hand. Has some pretty good articulation right here, as I mentioned right here in the rib cage, but since she doesn't turn at the waist, sometimes it's an awkward turn to do that. But this character looks good because of, you know, the splotches make it look well. Look at that. So she could be turned, and so that looks great. Great paint job. You know, I'd never noticed that she doesn't have any of these paint splotches on her back, obviously, because I'm sure they're like, well, it's covered with the hair anyway. So you need to know that the hair is heavy. Look at that. And it restricts articulation of the head, but luckily the head still moves because there's a little gap between the back and the hair. See? But you may need to support it. But this is an outstandingly great looking articulating action figure. Great paint job. Love this action figure. Definitely you need to have this one in your collection. Look at that. So let's see if we can look. It's just already a great pose. Uh-oh. Why is my arm so loose on this one? Interesting. So great action figure. So yep, look how amazing that looks. So great foot articulation and setting her aside. So awesome. Let's do this Spider-Man right here. Now this Spider-Man was incredible. If I remember correctly, and I'm sorry, I don't always because there's just so many waves. This was for the Hobgoblin, which is this one right here, Build-A-Figure. He came with more than one head. So we have this one right here, which this looks like a miniature version of the 12-inch Spider-Man because it has the same head. And you know what? We need to do a review of that this weekend or by next week because it's the same Spider-Man. It's really neat. And yeah, you're going to want to see it. And I know you've been asking about 12-inch Marvel Legends, which we haven't done in a while. so we will do those. So he's got great articulation points. Definitely looks like a traditional Spider-Man. Looks so outstanding. Look at this spider emblem right here. Just so great. Has all the articulation points, including his leg going a little higher than normal because of the way it dips right there. Great ab crunching. Great head mobility. Look at this. Just looks so outstanding. And then a whole slew of hands. So this is like web crawling hands. Look at this. See? You can look up. Doesn't that look amazing? Look at that. Absolutely looks amazing. And so this, you have this here, so he can kiss Mary Jane Watson, or I'm trying to look for the other hands. So we have tons of other hands, and we already have them in our little accessory thing. So we have this one. We have one where he can hold a pizza. I was trying to see if we had the pizza in here. We have the fists, and sometimes we do need fists with Spider-Man. So it's cool when you have fists that you can interchange and not be stuck to only fists. But if you have one, what a great thing to have, one hand here. So I don't think I have the pizza out here, but definitely a great action figure to have. You need this. This is comic book Spider-Man, obviously more modern comic book Spider-Man, but absolutely amazing. Looks great. Look at these boots. Look at these comic book Spider-Man feet. They look absolutely outstanding. Look at that. And then I was like, what year does this say right here? Does it say 2013? See if I can zoom in. Got a pretty good zoom there. Yep. So it did not come out in 2013. I actually think it came out in 2014. But nonetheless, and it may have even come out a little bit after that. But absolutely outstanding looking Spider-Man. And you definitely need this one in your set if you don't have it. Look how great that looks. Great, great, great looking Spider-Man. Alright, set him aside. Man, Carnage. So we have a Marvel Legends Carnage. I'm sorry, a Hasbro Marvel Legends Carnage. And we have a an old Toy Biz era non-Marvel Legends, but still a Carnage figure. And this is what the Marvel Legends series would look like anyway, because this was from specifically the Spider-Man set. And well, look at these, right? Look how great. Now obviously this one definitely looks tons and tons better, but there's some great ideas that were had in this Toy Biz era one. Now when you compare these two, obviously this one is hands down better, like I just said, but look at this. So I love this paint job on here. Even though it looks like it's just faded coming off paint, it definitely gives it this like this crazy look where it's like, I don't know, just makes it look like it had a unique hand painted finish. That's what makes this one different. So I'm gonna bring that closer. So it's not my favorite Carnage, but definitely a neat looking Carnage and one that's cool to have in your collection. So we have these Toy Biz era where the like the shoulders weren't really a shoulder, it was just a joint. Obviously it's still a shoulder, but these huge triceps keep the arm from going all the way down. I've got some great articulation, double joints here. We have this huge protruding elbow, like what would happen with Toy Biz Marvel Legends. But what's interesting is that some of those action figures back then had either, oops, I'm coming off camera, didn't even notice. I was trying to look to see where I was at. Individual moving fingers. So here's thumb, here's index finger, and so yeah, definitely cool. So there's a big joint right here that has that hinge right there, and so it moves like this, and spins. So that's really neat. And so it's kind of the same thing on this hand right here. Really cool. So this action figure looks great. He ab crunch as well. It's a little looser than I would have liked, but looks great. Look at that. Got some good head articulation, not amazing, but good. And moves at the waist. We have again these same ball joints like we saw on the shoulder, so it definitely makes for amazing articulation actually. So we can turn that. We have double joints at the knees, so we can have him jumping like crazy. And we don't have a high part of the thigh turning, but we have it right here on the same hip joint, and then on the high part of the shin right here. And then of course some great articulation right here on the foot. and on the ankle is what I meant to say. And the foot has this toe that also articulates so that he can be walking forward like that, and it's really neat. Look at that. Something that modern day Marvel Legends don't do unless it's a really big figure. So this is a cool Carnage. But since we're already comparing them, I want to show you what this other Carnage looks like. So look at this ridiculous symbiote hand that goes so much bigger, just goes big when you talk about compared to normal symbiote hands. Now we've seen the traditional one that's like on right here, like on Scream and on so many other ones that we've seen, but this one definitely takes the taco. Look at that. And he's got other swappable hands. So I really dig this Carnage. I love the head paint job, the head sculpt. I love the figure and the body choice they use. I love that he's got these little tendrils coming off that you can put this right here. I love that they had some attached to the arm, because that's something that's missing on some of our symbiotes, and on the leg right here. Look at that. This is just an outstanding figure. And we had multiple accessories, including, look at this huge like razor pendulum for a hand that comes out from the fist. So it's not instead of the fist, but out from the fist. Look at that. Man, this is an amazing Carnage. I'm getting all worked up just looking at it. Look at this. So outstanding. And let me see if I have the box right here. Give me a second. And I do. And I forgot, it comes with a head for Cletus Cassidy. Look at that. And then of course we have the typical symbiote hands, which already look amazing. But instead of these, why wouldn't you want to have these sick, maniacal Carnage hands? Doesn't that look great? So really the only thing I would even want different is that it doesn't look like right here his teeth, like they come out. I would have liked them to pronounce that a little bit better. So it didn't look like a "I'm a grandpa" type teeth, but more like scary teeth. But nonetheless, I would give this, you know, a 9.5 out of 10 action figure. This is one of my favorite Marvel Legends action figures overall. Next. Moving on. Man, we still have this whole thing to go. Are we gonna fit this in one video? Jeez, guys, I'm so sorry if this is gonna be ridiculously long. I thought I was actually gonna get this in just a little over an hour. So, okay. What do we got here? Should we make a part 2 then? Should we make this a part 2? Alright, if we're gonna make this a part 2, we're gonna pause right now, and we will continue for next time. And so guys, if not, we're gonna keep going. So